I'm Professor Adam Sapple, and this is Enlightenment Heroes.
Fighting crime, trying to save the world. Here they come just in time. The Powerpuff Girls, Powerpuff Girls. Fighting crime, trying to save the world. Here they come just in time. The Powerpuff Girls.
Know it? You know it?
The stars lean down to kiss you, and I lie awake and miss you. Poor
You know it. I do know it. You gotta know the Powerpuff Girls. You gotta know the Powerpuff Girls.
Fighting crime, trying.
I am here with the stonemasons of the Enlightenment era, and first off, we are going to interview Sir Thomas Hobbes of England.
It's great to be here.
So Thomas, before we start talking about your ideas, can you tell us a little bit about your life, like maybe where you were born and when?
Sure. Well, Sir Adam's Apple, it's funny you should ask. I was born in Wiltshire, England, in 1588. I was born prematurely, and in my later years I attended Oxford University.
You wrote a book, did you not? Twa.
I did. Its name is The Leviathan. It's one of the most materialistic readings you'll ever read.
So tell us a little bit more about the philosophy used in the Leviathan.
Well, my philosophy was one of the most materialistic of the 17th century.
Let's go beyond the surface here. What did you really think?
Well, I believed in the mortality of the soul and rejected free will.
But let's get really juicy here. Is it true that you said that man without a civil authority would be in a constant state of civil war?
Well, I do believe I said that.
So in this philosophy, what was an alternative you gave for people in their life today?
My answer to that would be, we should give our obedience to an unaccountable sovereign.
What is a sovereign?
It is a person or group empowered to decide every social and political issue.
So there was some controversy about your sexuality. Is it true that you were a pedophile?
Chocolate good.
So I'm not going to say no, and I'm not going to say yes, but yes.
Well, moving on with Charles Louis de Secondot, Baron de la Bride et de Montesquieu. Mr. Montesquieu, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
I'm a French philosopher, and I was born on January 19, 1589 at Les Beds near Bordeaux to a noble and prosperous family.
So, in 1715, you married Jean de Lartigue, a practicing Protestant whom you had a son and 2 daughters with. For the next 11 years, what exactly did you do with your life before publishing your 2 major works?
For the next 11 years, I presided over the Tournament. The Parliament criminal division, in which capacity I earned legal proceedings, supervised provisions, and administered various punishments.
You then wrote your 2 major works, The Persian Letters and The Spirit of Laws. Could you tell us a little bit more about each of these?
These 2 works share certain themes, most notably a fascination with non-European societies and a home of despotism. They are quite different from each other, but I will explain them differently.
The Persian Letters is a novel that consisted of letters sent between 2 fictional Persians. In these letters, they describe European society as through the eyes of a non-European. How would you describe what they saw?
In my book, The Persian Letters, I say that most Europeans are ridiculous. It is one of the funniest books I have ever written, and it presents that both virtue and self-knowledge are almost unattainable.
Well, I know that was a really fun book for me to read, and it gave me some really cool insight onto how non-Europeans looked at European society. So can you tell us a little bit more about your other book, which is called The Spirit of the Laws?
I wrote this book because I was born the human mold in social institutions. Although this might seem an impossible project, I believe that through this apparent chaos, there is much more comprehensible than one might believe. Understanding our laws will also help us to see those aspects of them are genuinely in need of reform.
Well, thank you very much for your time. You did a great job on changing the way that people view European society. So we're here with Joseph II of Vienna, Austria. How are you doing, Joseph?
Doing good, Professor Adams Apple.
So could you tell us all about your personal life and how you became ruler?
Well, Professor Adams Apple, in 1760, I married the Bourbon Princess Elizabeth of Parma. I loved her very much. But then, 3 years later, she died of smallpox. After she died in 1765, I married Maria Joseph of Bavaria. She also died in 1767 of smallpox.
No me gusta smallpox.
Go on.
After my father died, I became emperor, but I had to be co-ruler with my mom, Maria Theresa, and she made all the decisions, and I never got to do anything. When she died in 1780, I took over as sole ruler, and I got to do whatever I wanted.
So now that you could do whatever you wanted, what did you do?
Well, Adam's Apple, I ordered the abolition of serfdom by the Edict of Toleration and established religious equality before the law and granted freedom of the press. I did not believe that a man should have to support a religion that he was not comfortable with, and I supported the equality and freedom of speech of all people.
Alright, since you gave everyone freedom to practice whatever religion they wanted, and if they disagreed with a certain religion, did any religions disagree with you?
Well, I had a pretty good relationship with the Jews, and I emancipated the Jewish of Austria within a short time and endowed cultural life with a new vitality. However, me and the Roman Catholic Church didn't get along. I tried to deprive the bishops of their authority and limited their communications with the Pope. The power of the church was more affected when I shut down 700 monasteries that were not engaged in useful activities like teaching or hospital work.
Well, thank you for your time today. Let's move on to Sir Isaac Newton.
Great to be here, Adam's Apple. I am Isaac Newton. Oh!
So could you give us a little bit of background information on yourself before we start this interview?
Well, it's funny you should ask this, because I actually had a very interesting life. Who do you think you are asking me this? I was born on January 4th, 1643. His mom tried to make me a farmer, but I didn't want to have anything to do with that. I like school way better. I went to Trinity College.